Let's call it what it is. Everybody likes controversy.
Joe, Lil Snuff, Perri, young social media face of Philadelphia.
I'm from South Philly, born and raised. Your back's against the wall. You have no money. I take the job. Selling Chevys for less. And I got my pen and I threw the pen and it hit the car. It caught traction. The first video was like 5,000 views. I would go on there and I would say, ship the chicken, baby. The first month, I think he gave me 15,000.
All affiliate commission.
Then I went on TikTok. It was my first ever video. I woke up next morning, I had 22,000 followers. The video got like 2 million views.
What do you think it was?
I just think it was luck. I always say this my whole life. I'd rather be lucky than good. I go home, I tell my wife, here's this idea that Joey has. What do you think? She's like, get on the plane. What do you want to call the podcast? I said, well, what about The Skinny with Joey Merlino? My dad's looking at me and he's like, you got a fucking home run. Less than 24 hours, we had over 10,000 subscribers.
Wow.
You're going to tell me we're not banned or shadow banned? You're lying to me. Everybody likes controversy. Us three could give away a car outside, might get 20,000 views. Or you could run me over with the car and we get 2 million. Me and Joey do one take everything we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything you just said in the last 5 minutes is completely sacrilegious to marketing.
Yeah.
This episode may contain explicit language not suitable for all audiences.
Welcome back to another episode of the NJCS Creator Show. As always, I'm your host, John Bertino, alongside my colleague,
Steven Baconza. Hi there.
And today we're super stoked to be joined with our amazing guest, Mr. Joe, Lil Snuff Perri from Skinny Joe's Cheesesteaks. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys.
And it's fun to have this arrangement. We've had you here several times before recording content, but now we get to finally sit down, get to know you a little bit better, and talk to you a little bit about content creation.
Absolutely. And I love coming here to record. I mean, great studio, great location. I mean, you guys are the best, so I appreciate everything.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
You were here earlier and you gave us a shout on. I heard it. You gave us a shout on the show.
Yes, I did.
And it kind of gave me goosebumps.
Yeah, yes, I did.
Man. Joe, you know, you're well known in the area. I don't even think it's a stretch to say at this point, you're kind of like the young social media face of Philadelphia.
I mean, I would hope so. I mean, you know, it seems that way at the moment. So let's just keep it riding.
Everywhere in my feed.
I am.
And, you know, we obviously follow a lot of local creators, but it might just be the cadence of content you put out, the engagement level of the content you put out, whatever it is, you are in our feed like 5 times a day at the top of the feed every time.
I think it's just consistency. Yeah. You know, that's like main thing that I focus on. Like I post 3 videos a day. I do them at the same time. And on Saturdays and Sundays and Monday night, because, you know, football's on, I usually post probably 5 videos. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're hitting, you said the same time, which I think is
same
key.
time. Yeah.
Like exactly. It's 7:15
so
a.m.
I usually do 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Then I'll go at 11 a.m. and then I'll go 5 p.m. You know, when people are just sitting down eating dinner at home, after they get done eating, what's the first thing you do? You look at your phone.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. And we want to talk to you more about that and a lot of social media strategy stuff. But before we get into that, let's get a little additional background on you.
Of course.
So a lot of folks recognize you from social, but maybe they really don't know, you know, who Lil Snuff is.
Yeah.
So first of all, you're from the area, right?
I'm
Joe?
from South Philly, born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
And did you ever live anywhere else or just always from Philly?
Always South Philly. My parents are from the Italian Market, 10th and Carpenter. I grew up on 16th and Jackson, St. Monica's Parish. But I was baptized St. Paul's Parish, Italian Market.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're South Philly as it gets.
Yeah, through and through.
Right. And how'd you get into content creation?
So I was selling cars from 2014 to 2022, roughly. 2014, I get hired as a car salesman. Fresh out of rehab. You know, I went to rehab. I am in recovery, sober and clean, 9 years now. You know, it's all part of the story. So what happened was I get hired in Cherry Hill. My sister's best friend's father ran Mole Chevrolet. I don't know, a mile down the road from here where we're at right now. He reaches out to me. I deliver to him one night. I'm delivering cheesesteaks. Funny. I just come out of rehab. I got no job. I lost my job in the union. I'm delivering cheesesteaks. He's like the first or the second house I go to. Knock on the door. He answers. He's like, what are you doing? I got to make money. I owe everybody money. I need to make money. I was on drugs for so long. Make a long story short, he says to me, why don't you come over to this new car dealership I took over in Cherry Hill? I said, nah, it's too far. Meanwhile, it's 5 blocks. Like, you know what I mean? But when you're from South Philly and they tell you to go to Jersey, it's like, whoa.
I'm not going over that bridge.
So at that time, I think I said to my mom and dad and probably my sister, like, you know, Dante offered me this job. I'm going to go look at it and see if I like it.
Never sold cars.
Never sold cars, knew nothing about it, just walked in dealership. He sat me down. He said, this is what we do here. He's like, and I think you'd be great at it. And like, the vibe was just like, you know, when you walk in somewhere and, you know, your back's against the wall, you have no money. At this point, I'm back living on my parents' couch. I lost my house. I lost my car. I had zero.
You're about 24, 25?
No, I'm about, I started to get sober around 21. At this point, I'm 22, 23 years old.
Okay.
So, you know, it's hard for a 22, 23-year-old trying to get sober. So I take the job. He says to me, all right, you're hired. It was no interview. It was basically like, see if you like it. I walk in the dealership the next day. I'm always an early riser, so you don't have to be until 9, but I get there like 7:30. And I meet this guy.
A little early.
Yeah, a little early. I meet this guy, JJ. And I call him Uncle JJ. He's just the best. And you can tell the way I'm talking about him, like the guy was just a man. So I walk in, he says, you know, hey, how are you? I introduce myself. I'm Joe Perri. He says, I'm JJ. He says, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm here to sell cars. My first day. So he's like, straight up. He's like, it's going to be hard. He's like, it's going to be hard for you. I'm like, why? He's like, because everybody here has been here for 20, 25 years. We all have a customer base.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And he was like, but listen, I'm going to teach you how to sell cars and I'm going to train you along with Dante and everybody else who worked there, but I'm going to be your guy. You know, you're from South Philly. I like you here. Like, it was just a good relationship we had to start. He's like, but I'm going to tell you what you should do. And I said, what? He's like, you got to come up with a niche, something that's different than everybody else here. You know, we're all old school here. They were so old school, like that they were still reading the newspaper, like to see who car leads.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say like 3-4 months down the line, you know, I loved the job, but I was struggling a little bit, you know, because it was
tough. It's a tough
it's tough. It's not an easy job.
No, it's got to be one of the harder ones in terms of sales.
Yeah, very hard, very hard. And during that time, you know, car prices were maybe just going up. Not a lot of people had good credit. So I was sitting at my desk one day and I'm like, you know what? I said, I'm going to go outside and make a funny video. And I was like, let me go out there, make a funny video. There was a Chevy Camaro on the lot. So I grabbed JJ, now who's an old head. I said, listen, do me a favor. Hold this phone for me. He's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to make a video. He says, that's it. Do it. So I do the first commercial. And just at the end of the commercial, I said, selling Chevys for less. And I got my pen that was here and I threw the pen and it hit the car. Now, whatever the case may be. And I said, I'm just going to upload it. Facebook. I think Vine was still around.
Vine was a thing.
Yeah, like, you know, so I just uploaded it. And I don't know, it caught traction. Like the first video was like 5,000 views. And I was like, maybe I got something here.
And it was an advertisement, not what we call organic.
It was just me doing it.
Posting on your...
Just posted on my social media. That's it.
But you were pitching, right?
I just basically said, you know, come to Mall Chevrolet, ask for Joe Perri at the door, you know, and I don't sell cars for more. I don't sell Camaros for more. I sell Camaros for less. And that was it.
Have you been posting? Have you ever posted
No,
before?
this was like my
post like friends and family
me and my
shit.
buddy Russo at Xfinity Live drinking a beer.
Yeah,
Right, that's about it. So I just posted it and the video like kind of caught a little steam. And I never forget, like I was getting text messages, yo, that video is pretty funny. I like that video. So, you know, did that the first time, you know, say like the same week I did another video and another video. And that just, I got into content from that. And
Facebook?
It was Facebook and then Instagram started popping off and Snapchat.
Yep.
And, you know, it just started sticking to the point where like now it was, wow, selling Chevys for less really stuck. Like that was our, you know, if you look at all the old commercials, Mall Chevrolet would say at the bottom, we don't sell them for more here, we sell them for less. I made that up. Okay. You know, it was easy to come up, but you know, I said that, and it just started catching, and then people would come in and they would ask for me, and I got into
You were
content
consistent
doing that.
though.
Consistent. That's it. 1 or 2 videos a week.
How many followers roughly did you have at that point when you started posting? A few hundred, few thousand, or 10?
Maybe 100.
Maybe 100.
Maybe 100. Yeah, maybe 100.
Wow.
And I got into the algorithm, and then before the podcast started, before me and Joey even got together or anything, I had 17,000 followers on Instagram from car commercials.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when I was doing the car commercial, I was also doing gambling content. So I was doing both of them things, and I had 17,000 followers.
Yeah, I want to talk about the gambling content. You mentioned this to me the other day, and I didn't know about this. I mean, I know these days you do some, and we'll talk more about that, but you started doing your own pitches as an affiliate for a gambling site, correct?
Yes.
Can you mention which site?
Yeah, it was called Larry's Lounge. It's still around till this day. Great guys. They were great. They seen me doing my car commercials. That's where it all stems from.
They're local?
They're local. They were actually from the one gentleman, Larry, I think he's from like Washington Avenue, but I think he lives in Jersey now, whatever. He reached out to me. He's like, yo, your car commercials are great. So I was like, oh, thank you. He's like, I got this thing called Larry's Lounge. I think you'd be a good hype man to pitch it.
Man, yeah.
And I was like, okay. So I came up with this name for myself. I called myself the Chicken Man.
New profile?
Same profile.
Same profile.
I ran it all off the same. Besides, I made a Twitter at the time, not X, and I called myself the Chicken Man. And every bet that this kid would hit, I would go on there and I would say, ship the chicken, baby. And another thing, it just stuck. And then I was making a lot of money for him.
You got away with words.
Yeah,
Snuff, get away.
I was making a killing for him. The first month, I think he gave me $15,000.
All affiliate commission.
That's it. I would sell the package. If you would put in promo code Chicken Man, I would get half the money. He would charge $100. I would get $50.
And to be clear, you're giving picks, right?
Yeah, he's giving picks. Yeah.
Oh, he's giving picks.
He's giving the picks, and I would do something like called the ladder challenge. Yeah, but he was mainly giving the picks.
Got it. Man, that's a lot of affiliate revenue.
Yeah,
Some people would be thrilled to get anywhere near that on affiliate revenue.
First video I made on TikTok, actually, and X, my ex, I had Twitter, I had no followers. I got like 4,000 followers the first day. Then I went on TikTok and I did this thing called the ladder challenge. It was my first ever video. And I put day one, Chicken Man, ship the chicken, free. I woke up next morning, I had 22,000 followers. The video got like 2 million views.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I have no idea. I just think it was luck. I always say this my whole life. I'd rather be lucky than good. That's it.
Well, you know what luck is, right?
I have a ton of it.
Preparation meets opportunity.
Yes.
So
and you have been practicing. Yeah. Roughly how long were you creating car videos before you started going down the gambling pics route?
I would say like 2-3 years.
Yeah. So you had a good amount. And you're posting every day.
I was posting car videos every day. And then actually the general manager of the dealership, they hired me to make official Chevrolet commercials.
Makes sense.
Really? Yeah. I mean, it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you get out of sales and just start doing the video?
No, I got a promotion. I wasn't a salesman no more. They made me a desk manager. And then I became a BDC manager, business development manager. And then I became a closer. I basically did everything around the whole dealership. We had a good crew, good staff. The same guys stayed together for 10 years.
Wow.
That never happens in the car business.
Do you agree with the sentiment that it's way harder now to get traction? Like, do you think if you had started to do both those gigs now, it would be a lot harder to get that traction? Or you think the same things would apply?
I think the same things would apply because it's a matter of you have to know what they want to see. Like, let's call it what it is. Everybody likes controversy.
Of
course. Right now, us three could give away a car outside. You might get 20,000 views. Or you could run me over with the car and we get 2 million.
That's very true.
No, doing stuff like that? You were doing skits?
No, never. Yeah, skits, like funny stuff, but never like, basketball, throwing a football, things like that with the car dealership, but not like crazy.
Were you throwing them at the car?
Yes. Yeah.
So you were kind of like fucking with the car.
No, it was, graphics. Act like it would hit it, psh, it would blow up, stuff like that.
But that first day you threw the pen.
First day I really threw the pen.
And that was kind of a thing,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
That might have been the pattern interrupt that all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Were you doing your own editing then?
Yes.
You were.
I told myself.
What were you using?
I was just doing it on the iPhone where I knew how to stop it and go and stop it and go. I mean, and then all the cap cuts and Opus all came out.
That's and years later.
Yeah. But I Little Mo Mozzarella?
Yeah.
Okay. So he told me this years ago. Every time you edit a clip, you get less views. If you post the clip that you originally got, just post it. You'll see the algorithm will pick it up better. And even with the car dealership, I rarely ever edited anything. Just post it.
Because you're a one take. You do one take.
Never.
One take Joe.
Me and Joey do one take everything we do. We have never practiced.
And you think that is a big reason why you guys spike the algorithm?
I think so, yeah.
That's really interesting.
Oh, yeah. I have never heard it put that way. The Philly sports guy told us he just does one take because that's how he likes to do it. But he didn't say that he thought he was getting an
I'll give you an example.
From it.
I'll give you an example. Last night, I'm in the casino. I make a video. I go on. I send it to my guy because I was in the casino. He edits it for me. He puts a video of a guy scoring a touchdown. He sends it to me. I post it. Now I could tell in the first 10 minutes, if it don't reach 7,000 views, it's not going to go anywhere. First 10 minutes only has like 4,600. So I know this isn't going to go anywhere, but it's still got like 20, 25,000. The next video I post is me screaming like a raving lunatic.
Yeah.
No edit, no nothing. Put up there. In the first 10 minutes was over 10,000. So I don't know if it's by coincidence, but I've been going with that theory for the last 6 years.
Because it's just authentic, real,
authentic.
raw. It's not
Yeah.
overly produced.
Yeah.
It's you screaming like a lunatic.
Like an animal.
Do you think that if you were to send a video to an editor that did a bunch of edits behind the scenes, and so not on a CapCut, not on, but like use Adobe professionally, your theory is that that would hinder the video?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the less
Fascinating.
produced, perhaps.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause then it's the more authentic, your personality. It's unbutchered.
Yeah, it's
right?
like, I don't know if it knows, but I mean, listen, they know everything.
They fucking know.
They hear, they see, they know.
They can tell if something's getting caught.
And to be honest with you, I have no interest in, making any video go viral for the algorithm. I post to post. If it goes, it goes. If it don't, I'm still posting.
Right.
So it is what it is.
That's interesting.
Why? Because you're also driving traffic, right? You're less trying to go and get that $1 million vanity. You want people to come to the cheesesteak spot, and you want them to place your bets.
I have never, before the podcast started, ever boosted one post, paid $1 on Meta. And since me and Joey started the podcast and the cheesesteak store, we never put $1 in advertising. Not one.
That's incredible.
Never spent $1 bill.
I don't want to belabor this point about the editing, but Steven's taking an authenticity take on it. You're not necessarily saying it's about more or less authentic. You're just saying you think the algorithm knows whether it was edited or
Yes.
not, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're authentic no matter what.
Yeah,
it would
no matter
seem
what.
in your posts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it seemingly becomes less authentic when it's chopping.
Correct.
When it's chopped up.
Yeah, when it's chopped.
When we're working on a campaign today where I'm like, hey, take that ending, put it in the front, put the
Correct.
front and the ending.
Yeah.
Sure, it sounds right, but it's inauthentic.
But they catch it up.
They
Yeah.
catch up. That's interesting. It's really interesting.
All right, well, that's actually a perfect segue to asking you about hooks. So how much do you think about trying to hook the viewer in the first 3 seconds?
I mean, not really. I really rarely we will do it or think about it unless we have like a big episode coming out on the podcast, something like that. But I never really put hooks in there.
That's right.
Yeah, never.
And then how much thought do you put into planning the post before you do it, or you just hit record and go?
Hit record and go.
So, but you know what's funny though? I think inadvertently the hooks become just part of your personality. We're live here at Skinny Joe's.
Yeah,
that's
the
that's
hook.
kind of your
Correct.
hook.
Yeah,
now.
you're right. Yeah,
You know,
you're right. Yeah,
like these little things that you do
Yeah.
are cementing in the audience's mind.
yeah.
Well, he's got what you might call the calling card or the tag.
Right, but
I don't know if we're live here at Skinny Joe's it is a hook, but I don't know if it's like designed specifically to grab attention. It's just what you say.
Just what I say.
right. But,
Every video.
but perhaps it's because it's you, because it's Joey, right?
Yeah,
It's that sequence that makes it the hook. If it was, I'm live outside of Average Pat's,
Yeah.
it's not going to have the
it's
same,
different.
it's not going
it's
to have the
different.
same motif.
Yeah.
So everything you just said in the last 5 minutes is completely sacrilegious to marketing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the hook.
Yeah.
Don't rehearse. Don't plan at all. Just hit record. Don't edit.
Don't edit.
Yeah.
Try not to edit. Less edits is more.
It's interesting.
And it's a lot of this stuff drives marketers insane. Now, at the same time, I'm inclined to say that your typical average Joe, I guess pun intended.
Yeah.
It's not going to have the same luck. Like you're a pretty compelling personality.
Well, that's the thing, because people are embarrassed to just post on the first take.
They are.
Oh no, I don't like the way I looked. I don't like the way my teeth look. I don't like the way my hair looks.
I
Oh, my
stuttered.
shirt.
Right.
I could care less about any of that. The more controversy, the more negative comments, it fuels me to just keep doing what I'm doing. I don't read one comment. I only answer on social media. Rarely I'll answer comments here and there. Rarely, but I never do. Never. You could talk about my whole entire family, whatever. It means zero to me.
Smart.
Yeah.
Also sacrilegious.
Completely sacrilegious.
Right? Gary Vee will tell you.
You got to respond to every
You gotta
comment.
respond to everybody.
Yeah.
You don't
Now
necessarily
we
wanna lean into
respond to
hate.
every DM.
You do.
Every DM.
Do you have a team at all that looks at the comments to do community building?
Me,
Yeah.
Joey, and my wife.
Okay.
And my friend Jordan, who was here.
Yeah, Jordan,
he helps
yeah.
out too.
And they'll do the DMs. But
No, we do the DMs. Me, Joey, and my wife. We answer everybody ourselves.
So you do have some other folks that'll look at the comments and respond.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you're getting.
Well, we have
abundant.
fans, let's just
Yeah.
say fans, that will go on the comment section if they're like saying something nasty.
Right.
They'll
stick
say
up for
something
you.
back. But we're 90% positive. comments, 10% negative.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that much, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Let's go back to the timeline kind of order of operations. So you start killing it with what's the
Larry's Lounge.
Larry's Lounge. You're doing much better at the car dealership, building a clientele. At some point, you transition out of that to what you're doing today. So how does that all go down?
So what happens is me, Wags, and Joey are on the phone one day.
Who's Wags?
Wags is Joey's best friend and basically like my uncle. You know, he's always there for me, like, you know, but we're more of also friends too. Like,
Sure.
you know, my wife and his wife, you know, but he's older than me. So, you know, I always looked up to him because he's an old head to me, just like Joey is.
Yeah.
So we're on the phone one day, me, Joey, and Wags, and Joey turns around and says that they keep calling him to ask him to make a movie. And I'm not doing no movie. They keep calling him, then asking him to do a TV series. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. So then, like, the last phone call was somebody said to him they wanted to do a podcast. And he says to me, you know, me, I don't even know what a podcast is. He says, I remember in jail, I used to listen to a podcast. He says, but like, I wouldn't know how to do a podcast. Right. So I'm like, well, I said, I think it would be a good idea, but Joe, it will be about your life, of course.
We were looking at 2019?
This is 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, because what is 2020? No, 2022.
Oh,
this
so
is.
after
Yeah.
COVID, yeah.
This is way after COVID. So he's like, well, what the hell could we talk about? Whatever. I said, I don't know, pasta and parlays. Like, I just made something up. It dies. Like 2-3 months go by. We never talk about it again. Then about a month, like after that, he gets another phone call and he says, man, they really want to do this podcast with me, but they said that I need a sidekick. So Wags turns around to me and he goes, well, that's easy. He's like, well, what do you mean? He's like, Snuff. You know, Snuff will be the perfect sidekick for you. Yeah. And I guess something clicked to Joey because he didn't even question it. He was just like, yeah, you're right.
He spots dollar signs and he was like, yep.
So he's like, yeah, I think, that would be good. And I'm in work one day. I'll never forget it. I get a phone call from a Kevin Connolly number from California. I'm sorry. And it says Kevin Connolly. Now, whoever don't know this, Kevin Connolly on Entourage is E. Yeah. One of the biggest series ever in HBO history, just like The Sopranos.
You like Entourage, huh?
Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm working. I look at my phone. I'm like, holy shit. I answer. I'm like, hello. He's like, yo, what's up, Snuff? I'm like, yo, what's up? How you doing? He's like, I'm Kevin Connolly. I said, hey, how you doing? He goes, where you at right now? I'm like, I'm in work. He's like, all right, stop what you're doing. He's like, I need you to send me your last 6 commercials. 4 car commercials, 2 gambling commercials. I said, okay. I sent it to him. Wags and Joey get on the phone. They said, listen, Joey says, I just got done golfing with him. I explained to him who you are. See what he says. My phone rings in like 15 minutes after. Kevin Connolly's like, what are you doing tomorrow? It's Tuesday. I'm like, well, tomorrow's Wednesday. I have work. He's like, yeah, you got to call out of work. I'm going to book you a trip right now to Florida. We're going to film an episode. He's like, you're the guy. He's like, you're perfect for Joey's sidekick. So I don't say nothing to no one. Me, Joey, Wags. I go home. I tell my wife. I said, Dan, listen, I don't know what's going on. I said, but here's this idea that Joey has. I said, and he wants me to be a part of it, which is an honor in itself. You know, I said, what do you think? She's like, what do I think? She's like, get on the plane.
Yeah. Right.
She's like, we'll worry about everything after. Call my boss. I don't say nothing. I say, listen, do me a favor. Can I switch my day off from Wednesday to Thursday? Boom, boom. Now, nobody knows this. Not even my mom, dad, or sister. Next morning, I'm on a plane, 6 a.m. I land in Boca Raton at 9, get picked up from my buddy Alex, who lives down there. I never been in Boca Raton. You know, me and Joey, he picks me up. We go to lunch. We go to Lofts. We take a picture. That's all we do is take a picture. And I put podcast coming soon. And that's all she wrote.
Wow.
Because what I mean to tell you, that I never seen likes and shares and comments like this.
No kidding.
So now, the next, I say to Joey, like, what are we going to talk about? He goes, I don't know. He's like, I never did this before. You never did this before. But fuck it. We'll figure it out. Now we go to the studio that Kevin Connolly puts together overnight, basically. You know, a poker table, some pictures on the wall of, you know, Miami Dolphins, the Eagles, like just little shit.
Yeah.
We sit down and we just film episode 1. Like it was nothing. And the first episode was about Joey golfing at Trump. Joey sees Donald Trump. He don't know who he is. Of course, they say hello to each other. He takes a picture with him. CNN gets a hold of it. They post it all over the news.
Right.
And it made it this big thing that it wasn't. But that was our first episode. So I come home. man, I'm not telling nobody because the episode's not going to air for at least 2 weeks. So they're like, well, what were you doing down? What'd you talk about? So I sit down, my mom, dad, and sister, and my wife in my parents' kitchen. I said, listen, we did the podcast, me and Joey. It's going to be, the first episode's about Donald Trump. I said, this is going to be, now my dad
This
and
is my
Joey
life.
grew up together.
Yeah.
So my dad's looking at me and he's like, you got a fucking home run. Joey, listen, if Joey's going to do something, he knows. Trust me when I tell you, he's telling me, this thing is going to blow. So my mom, any mother's like, well, what are you going to do about your job?
Of course.
I'm like, listen, it is what it is at this point.
Right.
You're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. I'm doing it. That's it. So my mom's all excited, my sister. So the next day I go to work, I don't say nothing. We get the release date from Kevin Connolly. He says, episode's coming out next Thursday at 1:00. What do you want to call the podcast? Joey says, I don't know. I said, well, what about the skinny with Joey Merlino?
Perfect.
And he's like, yeah, let's do that. So, listen, we're on the fly, guys.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
Do it, and we'll see what happens.
Sacrilegious, but that's okay.
Do
It's
it.
working for you.
Do it.
I'm going to
Changing my whole strategy.
Yeah,
from here
just
on
do it.
out.
I'm not
Just do it.
caring at all
And now
anymore
you got
on
to
anything.
realize.
Fuck this.
Yeah, you're
Not throwing my
true.
computer.
Now you got to realize something. Me, Joey, and Wags are on the phone morning, noon, and night. Just throwing ideas. We don't know what we're doing. We don't even know how to get merchandise to sell. We never did this before.
Love this story.
Thursday, 1 p.m., episode comes out. And I'll never forget it. Everybody now is calling around.
Yeah.
Because we posted a clip on Instagram. Kevin Connolly's tagged in it. Executive producer, Joey Merlino, Lil Snuff. The Life of Joey Merlino, Bing Boom Bang. And I'll never forget, I'm watching. Me and Joey are on the phone and Wags. And Kevin Connolly calls. He's like, listen, I have the YouTube ticker that's advanced. He's like, how many subscribers are you guys looking at on the thing? So I'm like, it says there's 10,000 subscribers already. He's like, forget that. He's like, we're at 41,000.
Whoa.
Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you this, because to this day, we're only at 82,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're going to tell me we're not banned or shadow banned, you're lying to me.
Right,
The first episode, by the first week, 2 weeks, we got almost 40,000 subscribers.
You should
Come
be
on.
in the millions at that trajectory.
Exactly. So it blows up. It's the big,
This is less than 24 hours?
less than 24 hours. We had over 10,000 subscribers. And he had the ticker that was showing that it was going more. and
Wow.
more. Instagram, the first video had like over 1 million views where Joey introduces himself. He went to Epiphany. Who's this? Lil Snuff. I know his father his whole life. I knew him since he's a baby. Yada, yada, yada. So it blows up. It goes crazy. The following Friday, Saturday, Sunday, my general manager at the car dealership is on vacation. He don't know what's going on, that I'm on a podcast. Meanwhile, it's nobody's business because I did it on my day off.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what I could do on my day off.
Right.
The following Tuesday rolls around. This guy comes back to work. First thing, I'm sitting in my office. He comes up to me. He goes, come here for a second. Come in my office. I go, he goes, what's this podcast you're on with Donald Trump? I said, huh? Now, your political views are your political views. I don't care who you vote for. He says to me, and the worst part about it is you're talking about Donald Trump, that you voted for him.
Whoa.
Not his business once again. So I said, yeah, and he goes, well, you can't do that and work here.
Oh.
I said, why can't I? I said, I did it on my day off. He says, well, you just can't do it. So you got to make a decision. I said, well, I'm not making any decision. I said, you want to fire me? You want to fire me? That's up to you.
Right.
He goes, I'll get back to you. So now, like, for 2-3 weeks, this guy didn't even look at me, talk to me. He was disgusted by me. I guess because I voted for Donald Trump.
Oh, come on.
That's just how he was. And you could tell he was picking on me. Like, there was a lot of other things that were going on. Great. Don't care. Means nothing to me. I don't know you. You don't know me. I did work for him for 6 years, 7 years at this point, but
Probably
it is
made
what
him
it
a
is.
lot of fucking money.
Ton of money.
Yeah.
Ton of money. So, but that's how it goes.
Right, exactly.
This is the same guy that got you hired in the first place?
No.
Different guy.
This is the general manager.
Gotcha.
The guy who got me hired was the general sales manager.
Okay.
So, about right before Thanksgiving rolls around, I said to my wife, like, when you feel something?
Oh, yeah. The walls are closing in on you.
I said, I know that they're going to fire me. And I said, I think they're going to do it today. My wife, the best. Love her to death. Like, it's just, we could get into that. But she turns around and she looks at me and she goes, before they fire you, she says, quit. And I said, quit. She's like, yeah, we're going to be all right. Trust me when I tell you. You are going to be okay. And when you have a woman in your life or a support system that is riding, like, like if we go broke for the next 6 months, which we did because I had no job, the podcast wasn't making money yet. You got to monetize. It takes time.
A little bit.
She said, we're going to be all right. I walk in the office and he turns around to me and he goes, listen, he says, I just can't stand. He basically said, I can't stand looking at you no more. I said, good. I said, here you go. I said, here's your keys to your demo. And I said a couple other nasty words to him. Basically, and I don't want to curse here. I said, here's your keys. I don't need you for anything. See you later. And I said, and by the way, I said, my wife's leaving with me.
Oh, she was there?
She was there. She worked in the service department.
Oh.
So now we both lose our jobs. So, make a long story short, I walk in. I said, let's go. I told somebody, Jordan, this kid Jordan, and this other kid Pissarro, who was one of my best friends. I said, clean my demo out for me. I quit. I'm leaving. Everybody's in an uproar. No, no, I'm out of here. And I never talked to him ever again.
Wow, good for you.
Never talked to that guy ever again. Wow, and the other people I do, and for, like close to 6 months, I said, my wife didn't have a job. I didn't have a job. There was no unemployment. Of course, they were going to fight the unemployment. We knew that would come. Mm-hmm. And me and Joey just, we were just trying to grind. And then all of a sudden, like, I started throwing together these fucking promos and commercials at restaurants, and people were calling, and Blue Chew reached out, and coffee companies, and then it was off to the races after that.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's an incredible story.
Yeah,
Kudos to your wife, by the way.
Yeah, best.
For being in
It's
your
amazing.
corner like
Best.
that.
Best.
I didn't realize she was working at the same place. That's a plot twist.
That's an actual level of dramatics.
And it's funny because it was a week before Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving week.
Right.
So me and my wife show up to my parents' house. It's like 2:00 on a Tuesday. And I open my parents' door. My mom and dad are sitting there. I'm like, they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, listen, I quit.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad didn't say one word. They were just like, all right, perfect. Let's go. What do you want for dinner tonight? Like, it was nothing.
Right.
Because they don't want to get their kids nervous, I guess. And it was off to the races.
Wow.
But I always knew how to make money, and I knew I would be all right, you know, and knew that it would. I always was fortunate in life to always know how to make money. No matter what I did, I always made money.
So you've always had an entrepreneurial bent about you?
When you're from South Philly, I think it's just, it's embedded in
mentality.
you. Yeah, it's just embedded in you. It really is.
2023 this is, by the way?
2023, yeah. 2022, 2023, yeah.
Let me ask you something. Where'd Snuff come from?
My father. So my father's nickname is Snuff. Okay.
Oh.
Which, let's just say, I say Big Snuff.
Sure.
How that happened was, he's standing on the corner on 10th and Carpenter, him and all his friends. He's like 8, 9 years old. Kids are playing outside. A dog is running down the street. There's a dog running down the street. The dog's name is Snuffy. Somebody's calling the dog's name. Snuffy, come back. Snuff, come back. My father turns around, and his uncle at the time, I think it was his uncle, I think his name was Keystone, or it might have been Shank, turned around to my father and said, that's your nickname now, Snuff. Just like that.
Is it
stuck
after
with my father his whole life?
Sesame Street character?
No,
Maybe the dog?
no,
the dog,
no.
then...
But that is a Sesame Street character. But no, it was a dog running down the street. That's it.
Wow. I wonder if they named the dog after the...
Probably.
Snuffleupagus.
And then when I was born, my whole family, my uncles, everybody, I was just always called Little Snuff.
Snuff.
That was it.
Stuck.
It's charming. It's not a very common nickname for someone.
It's crazy, yeah.
So it works out well.
But I break my father's balls all the time. I said, I made this name famous.
You gave it to him. Is your father also named Joe?
Yeah. Same name. We got the same
so
name.
you're a second?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So you quit your job.
Quit my job.
And the way you said it is this company called, that company called, hitting this restaurant. But let's back into that a little bit, because a lot of folks, that's the moment they're waiting for.
Yeah.
Right. So starting with the restaurants calling you started getting restaurants asking you to come in and review their food.
Yes.
Now this is before you had the cheesesteak spot. So
Yes.
you started doing the food influencer thing ahead of time.
Yeah. Another thing Mo told me to do. Little Mo. He's like, you have a perfect niche. He said, you should go around the restaurants like I do and eat there and review their food.
Does Mo do that?
Mo,
That's what
that's
he
how I
does.
got famous from it.
During COVID. That
During
was his
COVID.
whole
That
thing.
was
him
his
and
whole
cuisine.
gimmick.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just think of him as the comedian.
No, his whole
No.
thing was that restaurants. So the first, 2, 3, I would, go in, eat it, tell them what I was eating, always giving, I'm never going to bury a business ever.
Right.
loved it, this, that, the other. And like one guy called me and was like, yo, I want you to come in and, you know, review my place. He's like, how much do you charge? I'm like, I'm stuck. I'm like, I don't know. What do you think's fair? He's like, 1,500. I'm like, all right, that's what they're paying these social media guys now.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Off to the races. And I always say this, you know, in South Philly area, you know, that's where we're from. So we're always going to go there, show love. And wherever we go, Wildwood, Margate, whatever, you know, what they gain off of me going there and Joey going there is way more than what they're paying. You know what I mean? They're getting a ton of business from it, which they should, you know, so that's what's great about it. And it just became a thing where like, I just became, you know, I'm a born salesman. So it became, I'm going there selling.
One take.
Yeah. Never.
No editing.
Never.
No scripting.
Never.
No preparation.
What's the best food here you make? I make a vodka cutlet. That's great. And I make a Sicilian pizza. Bring it out.
iPhone?
That's it. They're in there. They're broke. Yeah.
the new iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just have whoever you're with filming you doing.
I usually do it by myself. I usually hold the camera like this, or I set it on a napkin holder facing me.
I find it so fascinating that so many creators are just have bare bone. Like
Yeah.
there's no production value.
I like doing it by myself.
Yeah.
You know, I like it. I like doing it by myself. I like talking to the people, you know. I just like it, I guess.
You interviewing the
Maybe if they want, a lot of people don't want to get on camera, and I
Right.
don't understand it, because if you have a business and you're not on social media,
Right.
it's free. You're losing money.
Yeah.
And you can't have somebody like me. I can't be the face of your business. I got my own business.
Right.
You know? So why can't you, or there's 10 other kids that work here that are 20 years old. None of them want to go on camera. Some people just
Well,
don't
because
wanna do it.
they're all thinking they needs to be perfect. My hair isn't right. This,
don't.
that, the other thing.
Yeah.
So did you start, every once in a while I see you in a restaurant, and maybe
Yeah.
you're doing more than I actually see in my
Yeah.
feed. But at that time, how often were you going into restaurants doing this?
I was doing like 2 or 3 a week.
2 or 3. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And then
Okay.
when the cheesesteak store opened up, it slowed down a little bit, because I had to tell people, listen, I could eat anything besides a cheesesteak. You know, I got my own, you know, that's
Yeah.
what I got to promote, my chicken cheesesteak, my chicken wings and all. So, you know, I would tell them like, this is all I could eat if, you know, this is what it is. But I was doing about 2 or 3 a week.
Okay. Now every once in a while, right?
Now I do probably 1 a week.
Oh, one a
Still.
week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Still 1 a week.
The brand deals, the inbound, and this is an area, and I just shake my head every time it comes up, because it doesn't seem to me, everybody wants to get brand deals,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it kind of seems to me that it's hard to get them until you just have a big enough following, and then they come
Yeah.
to you.
And I feel like they're one-offs. They're one and dones. You know, they want to give you the money. They want you to promote it for a month,
Yeah.
and then they move on to the next thing. You know, so yeah, brand deals are good. But I like working with neighborhood businesses better. You know,
Like you mentioned Blue Chew earlier. Like, was that a
Blue Chew.
one time?
We did that twice. Bet US, InfinityBet.ag, Gemini Casino, FU Coffee. You know, Burnt Coffee. You know, so
Burnt coffee, I see coming
Great.
up a
But
lot.
Burnt
still do
now
that.
is the official coffee
of the Skinny
of
Yeah,
Skinnies, right?
Yes, that's been for about a year. That's our buddy. You know,
Tell us,
good
who is
guy.
Burnt Coffee?
So his name's Adam. You know, he's a really good guy.
Local?
He was from Seattle. He
Oh, wow.
lived in upstate Pennsylvania, moved to Seattle, had a coffee company, sent me samples. I'm like, I love it. You know, I gave some
Burnt
to
is an
Joey.
interesting name. You don't want our coffee burnt, but
It's good.
It's good.
And I sent some to Joey. Joey loved it. We sat down, we talked to him, and he was a really good guy, a family man, somebody you want to partner up with.
yeah.
And that's what happened. Yeah, it clicked.
So now he's serving all the coffee at the cheesesteak spot. Is
Any
Burnt.
events we do, the cheesesteak store, everything. Yeah.
We'd love to chat with them at some point.
Yeah.
To the degree that you're comfortable sharing, and to the degree that there's any uniformity to this, like how are you structuring these? Look, we'll do this one thing at this one price and we'll see how it goes, or is there more to it than that?
To be honest with you, you know, in the beginning, we just guessed. And if they said yes, they said yeah. You know, listen, I'm a salesman, so you always start high. You could always go low.
Right. Yeah,
Don't start low, because then you can't go back up. So let's start high and move down. So, you know, you structure it that way. But I don't know. They say that every 10,000 followers that you have, you get $1,000 for the post. I don't know if that's true or not. You know, so
It's a benchmark.
Yeah, we gauge it from whatever we gauge. You know, there's
So-
not a set price.
Currently, you're, and is Instagram your primary channel?
Instagram, TikTok, X, my Facebook's insane.
Is it?
Oh, my Facebook's nuts. Yeah, my Facebook's great.
Public
Yeah.
profile? Or
Yeah, my Facebook's unbelievable.
Roughly how many followers on Facebook and TikTok?
Together and Instagram, or just them two?
Each one.
All together, I think I got like 400,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 100 here, 100 there,
Yeah.
something like
And
that.
what about Patreon?
Patreon, we at one point at our highest we had 2,200 members, paying members. Yeah.
Wow. What about now?
Now we're still teetering
Somewhere
over
around there?
1,700.
Yeah.
And that's good to have. I mean, 2 years, and now we got the betting stuff that we charge for, so it's cool.
Oh yeah. So and those numbers you gave 100 to 400,000. That's just you.
That's
right?
just
That's
me.
separate from the
And then
Skinny
Joey's
podcast
got
and Joey.
if I got 400, Joey's got 700.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
And so a brand deal, it sounds like you're usually structuring as a one-off for a fixed price, and
Yeah.
you'll do a post or two, basically.
Yeah, what it is we do two commercials. Joey likes for me to do the commercials. It's more my thing than his.
Yeah.
So he's like, you just go do it. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But you're pooling, it's the collective
collab.
audience
Correct.
of you and Joe.
So they'll share it or collab.
Of course, yeah. I hate when people say, "Oh no, I can't collab with you." Why?
Right.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
And you're preaching the choir on this because
crazy.
we certainly look for that with a lot of folks that we interface with at the studio, and I think some folks feel like if it's a deviation from what they're usually posting about, and that's going to kill their algorithm.
But don't
their
you
ability to
want your fans to look at their stuff now? A new date, like
It's a whole new audience. Like, why wouldn't you want to open up to a whole new
that's
audience?
my opinion.
Right. And I don't think the algorithms, I guess it depends on the platform,
Yeah.
but I'm not convinced that they punish you that much just because you post something that's a little
Some
different
people
from-
say the collabs are great. Some people say they aren't. So I mean, I like doing them. So
We like doing. We've seen a lot of success with them.
yeah.
Okay, so Patreon.
Yeah.
You're our first creator we've had in that uses Patreon, and I didn't know you had 20,000 plus subs at one point.
No,
That's
2,200, 20 plus subs. I wouldn't be here. I'd be in San Diego on the beach.
okay,
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
It's funny when it comes to Patreon. Throughout my career, especially the last 5 years or so, I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs, have communities, and I've tried to get almost every one of them on Patreon.
Yeah.
And there's always a wall. They don't want to do it.
So-
they don't want to do it.
I would say Patreon is good and bad in some ways. Like it's good because it's easy to access, easy to post. Bad, they take a shit ton off you. Credit card processing fees, their fees, stuff like that.
10% plus
Yeah.
whatever.
And also, there is nobody to speak to. You could email them today. You might not get an answer for 10 days. So that's that's the only thing.
So, and for those that don't know, and frankly, I haven't looked super closely at how exactly you guys are structuring it, but give us the play-by-play. My understanding is that you give a small piece on YouTube these days.
Correct.
You started out giving a lot more, right? You built the subscriber base and then you peeled it back a little
Correct.
bit, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And now it's just, hey, if you want the full thing, you got to go to Patreon.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this costs us a lot of money.
Yeah.
Editors, cameras, renting podcast studios. What about travel? I'm going to back and forth to Boca Raton. Joey's going back and forth here. I'm getting hotel rooms out there. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of money. So, we had to get paid for it.
And people want it that bad. I don't see why you shouldn't put it behind a paywall.
Yeah, I mean,
What prompted you to go the Patreon
When
route?
we seen that YouTube was shadow banning us. That's what prompted us. We
So
couldn't
you were
make
like,
no
fuck
money.
that.
Yeah.
This is this private community where there's our stuff unadulterated.
I mean, think about it. It's costing you $6,000, $7,000 a month to do what we're doing,
Yeah.
and YouTube's giving you $700.
Right,
You have no choice.
right.
You're handcuffed.
And so you're finding now with Patreon, since when did you, how long in before you
10
joined
episodes.
Patreon? 10 episodes. Then you're like, we're going to,
Yeah.
did you come?
We're 108 episodes in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you go to Joey and say, this is what I want to do?
No,
Like, how did
Kevin
you find-
Connolly did.
Kevin
Kevin Connolly did. He said, I think it's, you guys got to do this. You're getting shadow banned. I don't think that they're going to give you an opportunity to make money.
Interesting.
Are you still working with Kevin Connolly?
No, he actually, not that he left us, he had another opportunity he had to go take. He didn't have enough time to do both. He actually got to deal with the NFL with the Hall of Fame. So congratulations to him.
That's great.
Good guy.
Now you guys get to do your own thing
Yeah.
too.
And so he's the one who recommended Patreon.
Yeah.
Had you heard of it before?
Oh, yeah. I heard of it. Yeah. I think the first time I heard of it was Joe Budden, his podcast. He uses it. Yeah.
He uses it. So have you seen, you had mentioned earlier that your theory is that you were getting shadow banned
Yeah.
because you would have exponentially more subscribers. You had 20, 40,000
Yeah.
after the first day,
Yeah.
and now you're just at 80, you said, right?
Yeah.
So have you seen that kind of prove out with Patreon? Are you seeing insane, I don't know, interest, engagement, whatever it is that validates that?
Yeah, I mean, Patreon's different. Like, there is no views. You know what
they
I
don't
mean?
show
Like,
you
they don't
views?
show you views.
Oh, really?
No, like, it's just comments and likes, stuff like that.
interesting.
But you have to, to get on our page, you have to pay and you have to watch it. So
What's
it's
the fee?
different. $14.99.
$14.99 a
Yeah.
month, and you do 4 episodes a month?
Yeah, 4 episodes a month. And on top of it, the sports picks.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. That was the next thing. So
that's the value add.
Yeah. I mean, out of $14.99, we'll probably get $4 or $5.
right. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Because they take 60%
They take, you got to pay for the processing fee. There's so many different fees.
for like Amazon.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably charging that 2.9% plus their 10%.
Yeah.
Plus fucking something else.
7% for a transfer fee,
Right. Hosting fees,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to quickly say what I think you guys are doing is I think what you guys are doing is brilliant.
Thank you.
We've had several creators in here.
Yeah.
A lot of them are excellent creating content, but they haven't figured out how to monetize it.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a really good job. We didn't even talk about the cheesesteak place yet.
Yeah, well.
And everything that's happening there. So you've got Patreon, you're monetizing that, which I think is smart in its own right. And then you have the betting picks part of it, which is a whole other element here.
Yeah.
So tell people about what you're doing with the betting picks.
So the betting started because, one, me and Joey love gambling. I grew up in a gambling household. Joey grew up in a gambling household. And, I'm 14 years old playing gin, with Joey, playing cards and things like that. So, once we got together, that's what we do. We gamble on Sundays, Saturday and Sunday, that's what we do. So I wind up catching a little streak. Joey caught a little streak. And I'm like, I think that we could put this on Patreon also and sell it. And another thing that just caught and worked. And I came up with this other line now that everybody says, meet me at the window. Once your bet hits, what do? You go to the window to cash that ticket. Yeah. Everybody meets at the window. So it became a thing too.
So bet your kids on it.
Everything. It's everything. Yeah.
So Joe says that,
yeah,
right?
Bet your kids on it.
You can bet your kids.
I mean, you two need like a little dictionary of.
Yeah, we have our own slang.
Right, snuff and skinnyisms, you call it.
Is that an upsell for the Patreon?
Yeah. So there is a different package that's $99, but $99 gets you the podcast, gets you the picks for every sport. We also work with a handicapper.
Oh, yeah.
Who gives picks that is like 70. He was like 71% last year.
Oh, wow.
So
so it's Joe's Merlino's pick, your pick, and then a third guy as well. Is that what you're saying?
we don't name it. We just give the picks. You know what I mean? It's just their picks are the picks.
Oh, you don't know whose picks they are.
Yeah.
And you blend the handicappers into yours?
Correct. Everything goes by units. People that gamble, they'll know what that means.
Yeah.
But always gamble responsibly. Don't take my advice. So just be responsible.
Right.
It's been a while since I've looked at. I had a phase where I was looking at buying picks for a while there. I mean, $99 a month or whatever is very normal.
Yeah,
right?
it's reasonable.
You play your cards right, you're making your money back
Yeah.
a couple fold.
And you're getting the podcast as just a bonus at that point, right?
Yeah.
Really clever, man.
You guys do horse racing too?
Well, only on Father's Day.
Only
like
on Father's
growing up, that's where I went for Father's Day.
Yeah.
The track.
Yeah.
With my father.
Yeah.
My mom, my sister, now my wife come. When I first met my wife, I told her, I said, listen, I didn't know my wife from anything. I met her on a car ride. So that's like a whole different thing. And I told her when we went out on a date, I said, listen, I don't come from like a normal household. My parents are great, but like we're gamblers. Like Father's Day, we go to track. And I had to tell her at first when we first met, I'm in recovery too. So she had to be okay with all that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, you were straightforward and honest.
Oh yeah, I told her I owed everybody money. Told her I had, I was living on my parents' couch.
Again, flies in the face of what everybody says on how to do things.
No,
right?
you got to be honest. You got to be upfront and honest.
Yeah,
it's way better.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And so, and then came the cheesesteak shop.
Yes.
Well, how did that come about?
And what point in the journey here?
So, who knows? I mean, probably a year and a half because it took so long to build. We had so many different things that we had to do and permits and everything else. It just came about where somebody, we were talking, me and Joey one day, and our other friend, and he said,
You're like 10 episodes in or something like this?
No, we were more like 20, maybe 30 actually.
Okay.
We went to Vegas. We went to Vegas for the Super Bowl, San Fran versus Kansas City.
I know that Super Bowl very well.
So, and our buddy who was there was like, what about a cheesesteak store? Joey's like,
Just out of nowhere?
Perfect location. Yeah. That was it. And how, what do you want to do?
Just randomly in Vegas hanging out.
Let's go back to Philly when we did. We got this this spot we want to look at. I said, Joe, you're perfect. I can see it right now. Skinny Joey's Cheesesteaks. Joey's like, yeah, we'll get the wrappers with all my newspaper articles on it.
Exactly.
We'll get the TVs for the podcast for them to watch.
Which I love that.
And we literally did it with, once again, knowing nothing.
Wow. Recipe development. Who developed the recipes?
Me.
No shit.
I would go in there, me, our manager, Eric Royer, great, doing great. We had like 3 tastings that we would do. And literally, I would throw the meat on the grill. I've never worked in a kitchen like that. I know how to chop cheesesteaks. We're born and raised making cheesesteaks my whole life. You know, a little salt, a little pepper, a little garlic, add not too much of that, not too much of this. Caramelize the onions here.
Always.
Joey telling me from Florida, if he wasn't here, I think we should do it this way. Get opinions from, 20, 30 of our close friends. And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got the old Talk of the Town location.
Yes. So I grew up eating Talk of the Town.
You have an absolutely phenomenal location.
Yes.
For those who know, you're a couple blocks from the stadium. As soon as you get off the
Casino,
Broad Street
Walden
exit,
Bridge. Yeah.
it's right there. So incredible. It just happened to be available.
It was dead for like 6 years.
Was it?
And then Ace of Steaks came in and took over for Talk of the Town. I think it lasted like a year. And then another year went by and it was done. And then it was just laying there and that was it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then in terms of all that goes into opening a restaurant, you guys just figured it out? Did you have consultants, anything like that?
No, like it's crazy how we operate. It's so insane. Like if you think about it, like I say to myself all the time, like my head's spinning. This is crazy. But one thing I'll say about Joey, he's so confident in everything he does. He's always like, nah, we'll be all right. No, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
A week before the San Gennaro Festival in New York,
Yeah.
we didn't even have a stand built.
Really?
He's just like, nah, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. And we did. But with the cheesesteak store, like it was, who do you think is going to be a good worker? And I mentioned this kid, Eric. And I said, Eric, he worked at Chickies and Pete's. He worked at Del Frisco. Let's bring him in, get some ideas off of him. And then we just threw it all together and, word gets around. Hey, I want a job. All right, I'll hire you, but I have a friend who has a friend. And then one day I had a job fair and like 40 people showed up. And out of the 40 people, I got to be honest with you, I think like 30 are still with me.
Wow.
So it's cool. They love it. We take care of them, Joey walks around. He makes sure like everybody's okay. Make sure your family's all right. You need
The
anything.
hospitality is top notch.
I'm going to tell you a story real quick. A worker of ours just came home, from jail. Great guy. I'm not going to say his name, whatever the case may be. He gets himself a nice car. You finally get on your feet, you get a nice car. Car breaks down 2 days later. Without even a rebuttal or us knowing or me even knowing what happened, I get a phone call from my mechanic who I use. Shout out Billy Rossetti, great. He says, Joey called me, wants me to fix the guy's car. Do you work? Joey paid for the guy's whole car. That's what kind of owner he is. You know what I mean? He makes sure everybody's taken care of. He's good like that.
And now you guys are opening up a second location.
Chichester, yeah.
When is that happening?
I would say we got another like 3-4 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
You got
awesome.
the space picked out.
Everything.
The build out started.
Everything.
I just saw a picture you guys just posted.
Yeah,
right?
they're going to start demoing it ASAP.
Wow,
That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, once all the permits go through, you'll be good.
You made a quick mention earlier, but when I showed up to get my first cheesesteak there, I thought the fact that you had the podcast playing in the interior, it seems like 24/7.
24/7.
I thought that was such a cool touch.
Yeah.
It's also just smart marketing.
Of course.
You essentially to speak in marketing terms for a minute, you use the cheesesteak spot as like kind of top of the funnel. That grabs the attention, the interest. You get them there. If they don't already know about the podcast, you tell them about it there.
Yeah.
After they eat the cheesesteak, then next thing you know, they're subscribed to the channel. They really get to know you guys.
Yeah, we're there.
Builds brand affinity.
Yeah.
They know your personality. You're like, these guys are pretty cool. This is fun. This is exciting. That drives people to a conversion point, which is ultimately Patreon, where there's an upsell to do the gambling picks. I mean, it's a pretty
It's a
sick.
sophisticated funnel, but it works perfectly.
It works
And
perfectly.
using the cheesesteak spot's unorthodox as part of a marketing funnel or sales funnel, but this is brilliant. And it's just, I love that it's not, so a lot of sandwich places would struggle if they were just a sandwich place. You have all these other avenues to monetize.
Yeah.
A lot of podcasts would struggle if they were just a podcast, but you have the subscription. A lot of sports betting places might struggle, but you have all these other points of monetization.
We built a
along the way.
brand. It's a brand.
And you build a brand along the way.
That's it.
I mean, it's really kudos, man. Kudos.
From two guys that just were on the phone one day and said, "You want to do this?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? Let's take a shot. Got nothing to lose.
So
Came
the
from
brand,
nothing.
So the brand recently, you mentioned San Gennaro. How was San Gennaro?
Great. Excellent time.
Yeah,
excellent. Sold a lot of cheesesteaks. Got a lot of
It's
new-
huge.
Yeah.
That feast is huge.
First time I was ever there.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, sold a lot of cheesesteaks. It did good.
Yeah, good.
Also, you guys give back.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I mean, in a big way. So talk a little bit about some of the social impact stuff you guys
Joey's father and Joey's been giving back since the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then when the podcast came about and, we started doing it, Joey wanted to bring it back.
Well, for those that don't know, what's that?
So that is, we donate at least 1,000 turkeys every year. We raise money to give away to of course, the homeless, Toys for Tots, breast cancer awareness, the SPCA.
Separate events or usually just
It's
one
all
big
in one.
event?
And then what we have is like a dinner for 100 kids that have no families. We get them a coat, we get them a bike, we get them a toy, and they have a nice hot meal, for the holidays.
That's incredible.
Amazing. And that's all going to take place between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right?
Yes, always.
Wow. And then if people want to participate in
The links in
drive,
our bio, you'll see it says Spot Fund. They could send some money and donate that
So
way.
they'll just
Drop
donate.
off toys, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I believe 100% of that actually goes to the
Oh
cause,
yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard Joe say that the other day.
It costs us money.
Yeah.
After you
Right.
give all the money out, you still got to pay the help.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So,
And so you're giving away turkeys at the cheesesteak spot?
1,000 turkeys at Skinny Joey's Cheesesteaks, 3020 South Broad Street, and another 500 at Chichester.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have two things else about marketing business I want to ask you about before we go to the bonus round.
Okay.
You good on time?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just flops. I mean, we all deal with it as social media content creators. Every once in a while we post something and it just tanks. It just flops, or at least compared to our normal view.
Yeah.
Do you have any theories about what causes that?
I just think that they don't like it. They just don't like what you're posting.
Yeah, so again, you're not thinking, oh, my hook should have been
Yeah.
better.
It was
my lighting
edited
should have been
versus-
better.
It's hard to say it now because of how many followers we have now. Like,
Right.
rarely we'll ever post something and you're going to see, like,
100 views, right?
yeah, I mean,
But for your own standards, you must have stuff where you're like, wow, from our own standards, that's really low.
Anything that Joey's making fun of me on, anything that, I'm insulting, like the parking authority,
Right.
or when,
You're ranting.
the rants and, when Joey's coming at somebody, they just are
the opposite.
astronomical. Yeah, it's
which
just
was my
crazy.
next question.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So in terms of things that pop off,
that's it.
controversy, insults.
Breaking balls.
What
yeah.
about no gel in the hair? When your hair is like 1,000 miles
When
high.
I look like Kramer?
Yeah, you look like Kramer.
They're the most viewed
You look like
videos.
an uncle of mine.
And I was never going to do any of them videos. So Joey told me when we were in San Diego like 2 years ago, he's like, listen, you got to start doing videos of yourself. Like, he knows I'm nuts.
Yeah.
He's like, you got to start doing this when you wake up in the morning, stuff with your wife. Because one day I was on the phone with him and I came home.
right.
I'm like,
the ball breaking
I'm
and
like,
whatnot.
I had a filet mignon. I said, it's gone. Like, who's got it? The dog really had the steak. So my wife then made chicken cutlets, and I came home, and she gave the dog chicken cutlet. He's like, you got to film that.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. It went nuts.
So Joe had the insight that you need more behind the scenes, the real Snuff, the
Yeah.
Snuff household. That was his insight.
That was his.
really
yeah.
smart.
Born marketer.
That's
Yeah.
a really smart
No, he
move.
is. He's very good.
And the fact that, so you guys, he's told you this in San Diego?
He told me in San Diego.
What were you guys doing?
Because
So
we
cool
were in
you doing
San
there?
Diego. We were going to see Sebastian. We were on vacation.
Okay.
And he's like, I got a funny one because it happened. He's like, where's the tickets? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what do you mean you don't know where the tickets are? I'm like, I really don't know where the tickets are. And I had him in my phone. I don't know where. But he really had the tickets.
Oh, how funny.
But I was videotaping.
Right.
And he was like, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, the idea of more behind the scenes on who the individuals are behind the content, that is part of the marketer's playbook.
Yeah,
That
You
is,
guys
because you
just
get
came-
to fall in love with people falling in love with you.
That's it.
Right. And they want you. And in a way, they almost look to you for relief of the day, relief
A lot
of
of
the
people,
news.
and that's what's most important to me.
for a lot of
When I
responsibility.
get a message and Joey gets a message, and we get a lot of them, like a couple people, I would say a handful of people, like, I was thinking about committing suicide and I watch your videos and I laugh, or, I was struggling so much in my life and I see that you guys are giving back and you helped me and like really gave me life. Or, a guy was losing his house and we gave him a job. A guy or a girl gets out of jail and they got felonies, they can't get hired. We hire them, and just to see that messages every day. I got a 93-year-old lady who is on Facebook who watches every single thing that me and Joey do. And she still goes to the casino till this day. Her daughter drops her off in a wheelchair. She watches us and she swears that that's what keeps her going.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
How'd that make you feel?
Great.
I mean, how...
It's good. It brings you, especially when I talk about recovery and, helping people with addiction, because that's another thing. Like, Joey got me in the rehab. 2014, I got dropped off to Joey's restaurant.
Really?
Yeah. He was mad. He was mad at me, but yeah. So we help a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Should we head to the bonus content round?
Yeah, let's go
give
for
to
it.
me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, by the way, for sharing your
Thank you.
insights on marketing, your background in business. I feel like we could have gone for another 2
Yeah,
hours just
100%,
talking
yeah.
about stuff.
Thank you.
But now we got to get into some of the bonus content. So for the bonus content, make sure you subscribe on Instagram and TikTok and all the channels with the short form videos. That's where we post this stuff. But for today's interview, that's it for now. See you on the next one.